Ladies and gentlemen, solo leveling is finally out on global, and with its initial release, it has brought Choi and Jinu. These are some big names here whenever it comes to the anime, but how do they hold up in Grand Summoners? Well, in this video, that's what we're gonna find out, because I asked all of you to send me in some crazy gameplay that you had for Choi and Jinu. Also, we're watching these videos together for the first time, because I haven't seen any of them. But before we get into all that, y'all want to see some summons? And we're gonna see if we can walk away with Jinu. That's really all I want here. I don't really want anybody else, man. Can I just get Jinu, please? Yamapi, please, man. Reyes, Karak, Gold Touch. Well, all right then. I guess I'll just 2 5-stars we're skipping, and 2 5-stars in the same location. Final half off summon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens here. Come on. It's just Reyes by himself. No rainbow. Just go. Thanks so much to Donovan for sending this in. This is against the Celia Crest Palace, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's that, or is it Giaville? Hold on, wait. I'm going to actually skip to the end real quick just to make sure if I'm getting this right. It's Celia, okay. And while this is going on in the background, let me do a very quick rundown of exactly what Jinu is. Now, Jinu is going to be a dark support character. A lot of you guys already know this if you've watched any of the other videos we've done on the channel, but that's pretty much his whole gimmick, is that he is a dark support character that's able to arch gen specifically for dark allies, and he does it pretty well. And not to mention, he does have the big nuke on his super art. His super art does a massive amount of damage, and it actually scales its damage based on how low the boss's HP is. Of course, he has stuff in his kit that allows him to get even stronger. Like, for example, every time he uses an art, true art, or super art, he gives himself 50% attack, which directly benefits him since he has the ratio passive where the more attack he has, the more damage he has. As you see here, the team that they're running is going to be a team that consists of Jinu, Diablo, Samurai Rimuru, and Albedo. But you can see here already Jinu is doing his job. He's arch-genning like crazy for the entire team. Everybody's staying relatively healthy thanks to the other characters on the team. And I really like too how he's stacking the physical res down with Jinu and also Diablo. Since Jinu is just able to constantly apply 40% physical res every single time he uses the art, it's very good and it helps just everybody's damage by quite a bit. But here's a super art coming in right here, with a little bit below half. How much damage is going to deal? This is actually scaled up right now with his damage, so it should be a lot if he actually can hit. Hopefully, maybe. Let's see. And oh yeah, look at that big damage right there from Jinu. One thing that would really help Jinu, and I really wish he had it, was some type of super crits or something else. Because I think he has a pretty solid base kit as just a dark support sub-attack or whatever you want to call him. If he just had some type of built-in crit chance or super crit, oh man, damage would be even more astronomical. Here we are again, though, half health on Fina, and look at that, instantly dropping him all the way down to below. And also he had the help of Albedo there, because I saw Albedo's super art too. This fight is a bit difficult, but for this team, he kind of has everything figured out already. He has his damage mitigation online with Albedo, and not to mention Diablo. If he's running Samurai Rim as leader, then he also had a bit of DR too, but I think that DR's already fell off. And one thing that's really cool about Jinu's super art is that it gets stronger based on how low the boss's HP is, right? Well, before Jinu, whenever a character had that, would only get the benefit of dealing the additional damage if the boss had that HP requirement when they used their super art. So if it was like below 50%, you had to use your super art below 50% to get the additional effect. But Jinu's super art is actually dynamic, where damage will scale with the boss's HP. So if the boss drops below 50% during his super art, it actually scales it. And as you see here, you can see him just kind of going to town now with all of his stuff, because he has max attack stacks. He's going crazy with the super art, and now it's just like easy pickings for the entire team. And look at that, easy clear right there on Nova Crest Celia. Did you get the 5+ or 4? Let me see. Hold on. Skill issue, honestly. Next, we have some damage testing from You Got It. And this team consisted of Hoka, Okaroon, Ultimate Paladin Roy, and of course Jinu. I don't think really damage at all is going to be a bad thing here. As you see within one super art, hold on, he's actually going to reset it. And then let's actually see him do it again with a super art. Okay, there's another super art coming in. And oh wait, was that his super art or was that his true art? I was confused. Okay, yeah, his super art's right here. So his super art deals 137 million. I don't think damage is a problem at all for this character, to be honest. I think that's actually where he kind of excels in. His DPS is really good. His problem is mainly just his kit design. It's literally this right here. Increase dark allies arts. I don't have a problem with this guy being a dark support character, to be honest. If this was any other unit in the game, I wouldn't have a problem with this guy being a dark support character. But the fact that this just buffs up dark allies arts by 4 is terrible, chat, because this completely locks out a lot of you new players. All of you new players are not going to have a mono dark team, which is why if you look at the reroll guides by a bunch of people that know how to play the game a whole lot better than I do, they're even recommending that you don't summon for part 1 of solo leveling. As you see here, this is updated as of part 1. They recommend you go for Rosetta and Summer Rosetta, and the reason for that is just because of this true art here. He's not like a universal support character, which I really wish he was, because solo leveling is more than likely going to bring in a lot of new peeps. If you guys get him, he's mainly just a DPS unit for you, which is arguably the worst possible outcome as a new player. You really want support characters and trying to build up a good foundation for your account. You don't just want a DPS character. But let's see some more gameplay of Jinu. Thanks to Momo for showing this one off. As we just talked about with the whole, like, Jinu's really only extremely effective on dark teams. Look at this. He's actually doing nothing for the rest of his team here. The physical res down he's applying is going to be just for himself and Sayaka, and I guess Chloe too, but he's mainly here as a DPS unit, right? So look at this. We're going to see his DPS right here. It's going to be very good because we also have Sayaka's buff too. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my, the frames can't even keep up. 16 million. Just off of that, and I think he might be able to get it again. Let's see, what does he do here? He's going to get to this threshold. He's going to do Brave Explosion. Does he actually keep taking damage at this threshold? It's very reduced from what it looks like. There it goes, and then there's the rest of it, and I mean, look at that. The DPS for this man is no problem at all. And I even said that before he came out. Damage is so goated with Jinu. It's just, I wish his kit was a bit more new player friendly. Yeah, it's by Shinobu. He said you can nuke the raid boss with him if you get him to half HP, which this new raid is quite formidable, let me add. It's not an easy task at all to beat. I would say it's not too hard to beat. It's just the fact you got to have the right characters, and if you got characters like Sayaka, for an example, you can really buff up your units by a ton. And as you see here, we have Jinu going crazy with the super art, and Jinu actually hit for 289 million against the boss. But of course, this took some setup because he had to get the boss down to half HP first. I guess if you're doing this in multiplayer lobbies, you'd be able to maybe get this off with little to no prep, just because everybody else can get the boss to half HP, then you can go off with Jinu. But Saitama better. We got 13 back here, and this time we can finally see Choi in action. So Choi, in my opinion, is going to be the kind of, I don't know if I would say lesser of the two, but I don't think this character is absolutely terrible. I do believe this character does need a lot of equips to really make him work. He is more of this damage support character, and not just like he needs equips that are good. Your entire team kind of needs to be able to synergize with what he's doing. Choi is like a sub attacker that has a little bit of everything going on, and with this team here, we're able to get a ton of fire res down. And here I'll just let Makoto go crazy, because Makoto's absolutely going to deal the most damage, since that's just what he does. The man is ridiculous. I feel like in order to really get this guy to do something crazy, man, you really got to have good magic equips. Because making use of that super art, literally halving all of your magic equip CT speeds are so strong. Because there's a lot of good magic equips out there. Lux Fina is one. If you're using them alongside light characters, they can make use of it and make the entire team just status immune. And if you're able to slash that equip CT in half, that's just perfect. Oh no, wait, before I keep going though, Shinobu's next, 16 stacks of 40% magic res down from Masaka's true weapon for a total of 640% magic res down. 233% equip CT brought her true weapon from 50 seconds to 15 seconds, and with her resetting it at half CT, it was only 7.5 seconds. Not to mention all the other equips are going crazy for BE output. As you see, this is a screenshot of the devastation. Look at all those magic res down. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're able to formulate a team like this that can make use of all these crazy equip like CT stuff, Railgun is resetting it for herself every single time she uses the super art. So you can see, like, with this is kind of a bit of a loop here. I don't know how good this would be in gameplay, of course, because there's missing some DR and stuff like that in game. The theory is there. You know, if you're able to cook up a team like that, you're able to get equips online left and right, because look at all this. It's just coming up 24/7, man. It's ridiculous. And unfortunately, that's like really all the footage of Choi that came out. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the way how it goes, is that Choi has potential. You gotta find it. You gotta work. He's not just like a throw him on the team. He makes the entire team god tier instantly, right? This is brought to you by a meatball. And to finish this video off, we're just gonna be showing everybody else's stuff using their characters. This is also against the Nova Crest Palace with Jinu. Part 1 overall to me was just an okay part. I have my grievances with both Jinu and Choi, and I really think the dev team kind of flopped with their design. I would have loved to see a bit more creativity when it came to the way how they designed them. Like if Jinu had to be a solo character in order to level him up, right? Maybe you could only use him on the team and you had to go through the stages and level him up that way. He is John solo leveling. I think that they could have did a bit more with like some of his passives and stuff like that he has from the show. I think incorporating stuff like that in the future with a lot of the crossovers would be really cool, because they kind of try to do that with one of his passives, because he does have 100% poison res, but in the show, at least from what I watched, he's immune to poison, from what I understand. He can't be poisoned, so I think giving him poison immunity wouldn't have been broken. I mean, at this current stage in the game, maybe it would have, but I personally don't think it would. And that would have been like a cool little nod to it. But the 100% poison res is pretty cool. And not to mention too, I just wish he was kind of a bit more of a team player when it came to everyone and not just a singular team, which is dark. That's maybe just for the new peeps, man. Like I said, this was any other unit, I wouldn't be saying this, but since this is specifically for Jinu, it's like, man, he really should be someone that everyone can use and not just a select minority of people that have a mono dark team. Of course, this is remedy a little bit whenever Igris comes out, but you know how that goes. You gotta pull them, right? Also, let's see this big nuke real quick from Jinu. Wait for the bird to come back. We got all the attack stuff. Look at that. DPS for this unit is never a problem, man. Next, we have Elo here, and this is actually a new player here. He doesn't have a max LB, but this is his team that he's running. You see a straight awoken lineup, and he's kind of doing this in a way to see if he actually has some type of benefit for new players. And I would argue this still isn't even necessarily a new player team, since Mako is here. But of course, Haruto and Sandstone, I would say these are pretty new player friendly. You can get both these guys from Forever Summons, or actually you can get Sandstone from the unit choice ticket. But this is against, oh crap, this is one of the chapter fights. It's a chapter 32. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is where you're going to see a lot of his faults, where as a new player, he's virtually useless. Sure, you have a DPS unit, but like it would be so much better if you had some type of arch-shinning character and stuff, so you could get rid of possibly one of these guys, just so you can have an ascended unit on your team that's not just Jinu, and in turn they would probably be able to buff up your characters by a lot more than, you know, what Jinu's gonna be able to do. Just able to stack physical res over and over and over again. Also in this fight, you're supposed to try to take out Orville really quick if you can, and then once you have max stacks, you just use your super art like crazy on Jinu, and then once he starts doing that super art, his damage is going to be very good. But if this was a fight that needed a bit more than just DPS, you would have to bench Jinu for some other type of utility character, more than likely. And as you see here, look, Jinu actually died there. They had to use Blessed Necklace on him. But I think everybody's having to use Blessed Necklace, because I don't think Sandstone can tank all of this. This is a lot of damage from Orville. You really need a very good damage mitigation or taunt tank to be able to go through this entire fight. Especially at the end here, you kind of have to rush it a bit. I'm going to be curious to see if Jinu's able to kind of push him through that last threshold, so you can kind of skip that last nuke, because if you don't skip it, I don't know if you can survive it, man. I've never survived it without just kind of brute forcing my way through that last threshold. And I'm almost positive he's going to be able to do it, because he has all the attack stacks. He has 500% attack up right here. And look, he's like a little bit below halfway. Okay, yeah, and then he uses the super art here. I'm pretty sure Jinu's just going to wipe it. If you have the right conditions, he's going to hit insanely hard. Yeah, look at that. He's just wiped the floor with it. Very good stuff here. And this is by Robert the Rabbit. This is the exact same fight. We're just going to skip here and just see, like, you know, how he's doing in an ascended comp, and as you see, it's kind of virtually the same thing, kind of like the same idea going on here. He's going to be used as mainly a DPS unit in this situation, and once Robert gets him down to like that halfway point, and look, he has the 100% or 200% attack up, he's going to insta-kill this guy. So that's pretty much what Jinu's translated to, is just this huge damage dealer. Just so many characters in this game do damage now. So DPS doesn't really amaze me anymore, unless it's just completely out of this world, you know? And I feel like it's been a while since we've seen something like that. But as you see here, super art coming through, and yeah, just wiping the floor with it. But that is all the footage that we had in the Discord. Thank you to everyone again that sent in footage. Huge shout out to everybody. Y'all let me know down below what you all think about part 1. You already heard my thoughts. Would love to hear all yours. I'm still going to be trying to go for Jinu and the rest of the solo leveling characters. Specifically, I'm probably not going to be summoning again until Igris comes out, but hopefully we can walk away with Igris, and if we can, then I guess we're going to have to pity Jinu so we can run the duo together in a singular team. We'll cross that bridge when we cross it. Thank you all again so much for hanging out. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you drop a like on the video, and before y'all leave, don't forget to drink water.